Materials used in this presentation are period in nature and used for educational and entertainment purposes. Furthermore, videos have been used in conjunction with the photographs to produce continuity, in some instances are composites, and fall within the purview of the fair use doctrine of U.S. copyright laws. Attributions are given when required. Welcome to A Moment in Crime, a feature vignette presented by the True Crime Man's Dark Imagination YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed this presentation or any other presentation on this channel, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell in order to receive notifications on any further offerings on this channel. Gustav Adolf Seefedlt was born the seventh child of an alcoholic father and a promiscuous mother in Potsdam, Germany on March 6, 1870. Not much is known of Seefeldt's youth, other than he was originally trained as a young man as a blacksmith, but later earned an apprenticeship as a watchmaker and repairman. During his childhood, seeing the debauchery displayed through his parents, Seefedlt began reading the Bible and committing its passages to memory. In later life, Seefedlt could be heard reciting these lengthy passages while walking through the small villages and hamlets of northern Germany. At the age of 12, Seefedlt suffered the abuse of two grown men, which he enjoyed, and some historians, criminologists, and forensic scientists believe this event played an integral part in the reasons behind Seefeldt's later tragic and deadly behavior. In 1890, Seefedlt made his way to Lübeck and married a woman known as Katharina, who later divorced him in 1910. Although the couple had a son, this offspring had the unflattering distinction of spending the rest of his life in asylums all over northern Germany, when psychiatrists determined the youth to be slightly unbalanced. At the age of 25, Seefedlt was imprisoned for the molestation of a young boy. At this point in his life, psychiatrists diagnosed the young man as being unstable. After his release from prison, Seefedlt became a wanderer of sorts, traveling around northern Germany, preferring to sleep in the open in parks and doorsteps. Seefedlt also passed himself off as a witch when he traveled through some of the smaller villages, claiming he could cast spells upon people and animals. This fooled the illiterate and superstitious villagers into believing in his mystical powers as long as he remained at a particular location. For the next 20 years, Seefedlt saw himself in and out of prisons and insane asylums where he exhibited odd, if not totally unbalanced, behavior. Attendants at the various asylums where Seefedlt saw himself incarcerated viewed the man as, quote, playing with his droppings, twitching his limbs, end quote, and experiencing self-imposed paralysis. When freed, Seefedlt always found young boys to abuse. Although varying crime scenes may have changed because of location, Seefedlt always found pine plantations where he would deposit his victims. And even though he murdered a young boy in 1908, it was not until much later when the authorities determined his, quote, series, end quote, did not really begin to be noticed until 1933. Authorities strongly believed that Seefedlt was responsible for the deaths of 12-year-olds Kurt Gnerk on April 16, 1933, Wolfgang Metzdorf, October 8, 1933, Ernst Tesdorf, November 2, 1933, known as Keinslammler within the local area, Alfred Pretorius, November 12, 1933, Hans Korn, January 16, 1934, the Oranienburger Gunther Tiesk, October 2, 1934, 11-year-old Brandenburger Irving Wisniewski, October 8, 1934, 4-year-old Arthur Dill, October 16, 1934, found in Neuruppin, 5-year-old Edgar Dietrich, nicknamed Eipel, October 16, 1934, he was found in Neuruppin. 10-year-old Hans Joachim Neumann, murdered February 16, 1934, but not found until June 20, 1935. 10-year-old Heinz Zimmermann, February 23, 1935. And 11-year-old Gustav Thomas, March 22, 1935. The victimology of the decedents seemed similar in that each of the young boys was found wearing a sailor suit. Additionally, all of the children were found as though they were, quote, peacefully asleep, end quote, and their bodies showed no signs of visible external violence. Police began to question as to whether the murderer, now known as the Sandman, may have committed other murders that may have been addressed as having occurred as a result of natural causes. Most criminologists assume that Seefedlt may have used a self-produced poison that mimicked sleep after death. Authorities believe they had the man responsible for the most recent rash of disappearances when they arrested a businessman after 2 boys wearing sailor suits were found dead near Schwerin, Germany. But while the man remained in custody, he hanged himself rather than face the public. On March 23, 1935, Gustav Thomas was found dead near a pine preservation near Württemberg, Germany. Police questioned witnesses who last saw the young boy, and the witnesses stated that they saw young Gustav with an older man in a, quote, striking hat, end quote, on the day the child disappeared. When police noticed a middle-aged man who matched the description, they arrested him immediately. That man was Gustav Adolf Seefedlt. At first, Seefedlt denied everything, even denying that he knew the 5 to 12-year-old boys. Later, after a more intense interrogation, Seefedlt stated that he once traveled with a young boy for over 3 months before letting him go, unharmed, and then finally admitted that he killed 12 young boys. Even though Seefedlt suffered from abuse himself, forensic investigation of the victims revealed that none of them suffered from any type of sexual abuse. With this knowledge, German authorities put Seefedlt on trial for murder, and after a brief trial, sentenced the watchmaker to death for 12 murders. After the trial, in order to discover the identity of any other victims, the Gestapo, or Nazi secret police, took Seefedlt to one of their facilities and tortured him incessantly until he professed the identity or culpability in the murder of other young children. As a result of the deeply painful interrogation, Seefedlt admitted to more than 100 murders, but could not remember the names of the victims. Seefedlt filed an appeal on February 26, 1936, but that appeal was denied and Gustav Adolf Seefedlt was executed by guillotine on May 23, 1936. Germany became familiar with the whole slew of serial killers during the same time period, with the likes of Peter Kürten, Fritz Haarmann, and Karl Denke. The German people reviled their presence and determined that if anyone exhibited this type of behavior at that time, they would certainly meet a most gruesome fate at the hands of the executioner. This has been A Moment in Crime. If you've enjoyed this presentation or any other presentation on this channel, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell in order to receive notifications on any further offerings on this channel.